early with whatever, whatever the league wants us to, whatever questions they ask us, whatever they want us to do.
Did you get the sense that you were able to grip the ball better than the Colts last night? Would you care to weigh in on that?
I think I heard it all at this point. So, oh God.
I don't know anything about that, buddy. So I don't touch footballs. I tackle.
I don't touch footballs. I tackle. That's what he does. Even Gronk had to weigh in on this. Gronking may cause deflation. This posted on his Twitter page. That's a warning, folks. That may cause the deflation, but they weren't doing anything illegal. So we welcome our NFL analyst, Jerome Bettis. Deflategate, as we call it. Does it make you laugh? Like, I haven't even gotten to the question. Is it funny to you, just as a former football player, why this may sound ridiculous?
It's funny to me, but it's funny because it's something that you would never think someone would do, or a team would actually plan to deflate the balls. But because it is New England,
right,
and they are known felons, okay, they're known felons.
They are.
So because of that, you take everything with a grain of salt that they do. Now, do I believe in my heart of hearts that the New England Patriots deflated the ball to get an unfair advantage? No, I do not believe that they did that. I think that's so far-fetched to try to gain that small of an advantage. Now, yeah, I know it was raining, the weather was bad, but I still don't think they would stoop that low to try to win this football game. I think they felt they were definitely a better football team. So I don't believe that was the case. But because of Spygate, they will always be questioned. They will never get the benefit of the doubt. Right. And I don't believe they should.
Well, listen, y'all. My man, Jerome Bettis. I mean, known felons, really? That's what you gonna call them? That's what you gonna call them? I mean, come on, bro. Come on now.
A known felon, did they get caught? I mean, did they get caught doing something wrong?
Let's dissect that, because I'm getting ready to answer the question, bro. It's first take. I'm getting ready to answer you. All right? My point is...
No, because what's suffice?
Well, no, that's not enough. Yes, they got caught. I understand you want to talk about them cheating. Herm Edwards came on this show months ago alluding to Spygate. And we really quantified what transpired. Correct me if I'm wrong. Help me out here, Skip. What they said is that videotaping and all of that stuff goes on and every team does it. What the issue at hand is that the NFL stipulated that the cameras used to videotape these things couldn't be in a specific location. That is the violation that Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots exercised. We understand that the NFL came down on them. We understand that the NFL fined the team and fined, Coach Belichick. We get all of that. We understand that Robert Kraft was on the record saying it will not happen again because he thought it was an embarrassment to the organization. But how is it that we bring that up and forget the fact that it was in week 2 of a season where they ended up having an attitude about it and proceeding to go 18-0 before losing in the Super Bowl? How is it that we forget that they've been to not 1, but 2 Super Bowl appearances and 4 AFC Championship games since that particular time? How is it that we forget all the success that they have had? And I'm a native New Yorker. I got no love for Boston. I respect the hell out of them as a city, as a fan base, and certainly their teams. But I got no love for them because I'm a New Yorker. I want them to lose most of the time. But in the end, respect should be given where it is earned. And there is no question that the New England Patriots have earned enough respect where they shouldn't have you calling them known felons. They shouldn't have everybody always looking for a reason to sit there and say they're cheating. They're acting like every time we lose to these boys, they must have done something wrong, instead of accepting the fact that they just whipped your butt. How many dudes are Tom Brady? How many coaches are Bill Belichick? How many tight ends are Rob Gronkowski? I mean, come on now. The lack of respect given to these dudes is a problem.
Okay, I understand that. Now, let me help you understand here. I don't care for the Patriots as well, okay? I started this by saying I do not believe that they did this. First of all, I said I don't believe they did this. Hold on. Did they get caught cheating? Now you tried to say, well, it was where the camera was. It was a penalty. They should not have done it, right? So they made a concerted effort to make. They made a decision that we are going to cheat. Now, regardless of what you want to say they did, that's what happened. Okay? So the league found them guilty. All right? They had substantial penalties and fines. So they are known felons. That's what that means. When you get caught, okay, and you have to do the time, you are then a known felon. And
how come it can't be a misdemeanor? How come it can't be a misdemeanor?
Because it was
what I'm trying to say.
Because it was a $500,000 fine. Okay,
right.
that's not a misdemeanor.
Multi-billion-dollar
That's
industry.
not a misdemeanor.
$500,000 fine.
Yeah.
A $500,000 fine for an organization that's worth over $2 billion. Wow.
But that was
the felon? How come it can't be a misdemeanor?
That was a fine that the coach had to pay because it was his decision. So now let me tell you what happens, okay, in real life. If there is a crime committed anywhere in your vicinity, because you are a known felon, they're going to bring you in and take you through the lineup, okay, because they say you have a history, okay, of skating the rules. Now, you have a history, a known history, and because of that, let me finish. Let me finish.
Go ahead.
Because you have a known history for doing that, we have to, at the very least, bring you in and ask you questions about it and say, you know what, where were you Tuesday night? Okay? And if you have an alibi, they say, okay, great. You have a nice day. And so, guess what they're going to do? They're going to ask them questions.
I hear you talking.
And find out where they were. What were they thinking?
Jerome, I hear you talking. By the way, every crime ain't a felony. Trust me on that. That's number one.
You know what?
That's right. That's true. That's true. Hold on.
Because
number two,
we played
you don't
in the
always
AFC Championship game. All right, we lost that game. So to me, that is a felony because it took a chance that we had a way to go to the Super Bowl. It possibly did. Not saying that was the case, but I'm saying I'm saying we were involved in the shenanigans. Okay, so I have a personal issue with the Spygate case.
All right, that's different.
I'm telling you that right now.
That's different.
And guess what?
Different.
And
that's different. It's personal. So it's personal.
I don't know what you call it, misdemeanor in the world of football and rules. If you call this a misdemeanor, I mean, you got to be kidding yourself.
With all due respect, I saw y'all not being able to run the football, not being able to throw the football, not being able to stop Tom Brady. I don't know about all of that stuff.
The commissioner burned the evidence. Now, would he burn the evidence on a misdemeanor? The commissioner burned the evidence. Now, you would do that as a misdemeanor.
How come you ain't calling him a felon?
All right, time out, gentlemen. Bayless.
He got some issues, too.
Bayless, do you want to weigh in, or do you want to talk about the image of said Patriots?
No, I want to weigh in.
Okay.
I believe this was a misdemeanor in my book.
This situation.
Yeah, the Spygate rule, which Belichick full well knew and violated, should be a misdemeanor. But I am with you. It got punished like it was a felony. That was a felony penalty that was levied by the commissioner. And I agree with you. The tapes would not have been burned over a misdemeanor. It was significant. Look, I don't think they gained a huge advantage, like a game advantage, a game edge by what they were doing with this videotaping. But what happened off that, because it was punished like it was a felony, now from here on, they're guilty until proven innocent. So I'm with you on that point. And let's put this in a bigger context. Obviously, they benefited hugely that first playoff run from the Tuck rule overturn. It was wrong. It was outrageously done. Now, again, they didn't cheat. You could say the league office got it wrong for them. So you can't blame them for them. But they did benefit.
But the perception is that
the perception is huge. And remember, before that first Brady-Belichick Super Bowl at the Superdome, against the St. Louis Rams, there was a report that a videographer from the Patriots taped the walkthrough of the Rams on the Saturday before the Super Bowl. Denied by the Patriots, but Marshall Faulk has been quoted as saying, I got robbed.
Yep.
You know, they cheated to, you know, I got cheated to and cost me that Super Bowl. And then we went through Spygate, and even the revered elder statesman that is Don Shula, the great coach that was Don Shula, recently kind of offhandedly threw out, instead of Belichick, he called him Cheat. Really? Bill Belichick?
Yeah.
This is from Don Shula? So the perception is growing wider and wider. And then we had the recent Ravens complaining about the deception, where they played fast and loose with the rules of eligibility. Who's reporting eligible? And again, it was clever. It was, but some coaches would say that's just not sportsmanlike. Well, I wouldn't play the game that way. Belichick would choose to play the game that way. So it enhanced the reputation of fast and loose. They will play just barely in the gray area of the rules. Well, so I'm with you. Again, was I outraged over what they did in Spygate? I wasn't outraged by it. I don't think it was a significant advantage that year for them. But still, the rule is the rule. They violated, they got caught, and they got severely punished for it, to me. So, again, maybe felon's too strong, but they got punished like it was a felon.
You call it a misdemeanor, but they got punished like a felon.
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead, Steve.
Felon is too strong. But let me just say this, Jerome Bettis. Since 2003, listen, some would argue that the legacy of the Patriots began because they got cheated. You know, I mean, the Oakland Raiders got cheated. Was that the Patriots too, or was that the officiating? Roger Goodell and some of the issues that he's had to deal with lately, you know, and then the burning of the tapes. Is that about the Patriots too? I don't know about that. But here's all I do know. Since 2003, 14-2, 14-2, 10-6, 12-4, 16-0, 11-5, 10-6, 14-2, 13-3, 12-4, 12-4, 12-4. Really? I mean, if they cheat that much, isn't the league just stupid because y'all haven't caught them or y'all haven't figured it out? I mean, they've been cheating for 12 years? 12 years? I mean, there's a lot of haterade being drank when it comes to these Patriots, man. I don't get it.
Is that fair? Is that fair? Do people just hate on the Patriots?
Absolutely, absolutely. People, you know, players hate on the Patriots' success. Fans hate on the Patriots' success. Absolutely they do. But you can't deny how good this team has been. You can't deny how great Belichick has been as a football coach. I'm not denying that. What I'm saying, though, is they are willing to play in the gray area when a lot of teams don't necessarily
do that. Okay.
And so because of that, they're always going to be looked upon in a different light because they are willing to play in that gray area. They have to accept some of the things that come with playing in the gray area.
But you said at the beginning you don't feel like they had anything to do with the Deflategate.
No,
however,
I don't
do you feel like this latest knock is going to impact their image? Or no?
Absolutely. Each one sends a resounding message to all the people who believe that they are a team that cheats. So now what happens is the more you see, you say, okay, well, yeah, I believe they did it. And you don't actually give them the benefit of the doubt because you say, you know what, in their past, they've done this, and they're willing to play in the gray area. They're willing to do some things that are legal, but, you know, it's not, you know, it's in the rules of the game. People don't play the game that way. And so from a technicality standpoint, yes, technically, you can do it, but you really don't do it.
Okay.
And so because they're willing to skate that, they're going to always have this reputation. Whenever there's a question mark, they're going to always pull them in and take them through the lineup and say, did you guys do this? Did you, you know, and try to get an understanding of
they're going to investigate
if they meant to do it or if it just happened.
Yeah.